Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Excuse me. Welcome to the Zwift Community Lab broadcast of KALAS Cup round number 9. We are out here with the men's and the women's elite racing out here today. It's about 6 minutes to go to the start of the men's race. On the women's side of things, we're just jumping into the pens, and it looks like we've got, I believe, about 13 or so minutes to go on that race. I do have alongside of me for co-commentary today, Mr. Dave Toll. I always, a lot of times I get that one incorrect. Dave, welcome to the program, and it's really, really great to have you here.
Hey, thanks a lot. I am stoked for this one. 43K. It's going to be a throwdown for sure. And you got another really cool guest with us here. It's an honor to have one of the great American mountain bikers, a guy you raced against in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So it's good to have Jeremiah is alongside us here, and he's going to be hammering away with us. We were testing a ton prior to the broadcast, and his mic. We'll see if we can get it working before the end of the broadcast again. But we're going to have live images. Jeremiah Bishop, multi-time national champion from the world of mountain biking. And he's going to be out here hammering away on the sand and Sequoia's course with us. So super excited to have that. Obviously, also, we have the reality of all of the esports racing teams that are jumping out here into the world of Zwift racing. This has been a crazy series. James Phillips from Canyon ZCC, he's been the sprinter on the day over and over again. And this does end up in somewhat of a pretty intense sprinting course at the end of the day here, Dave, wouldn't you say?
Without a doubt. I don't know how you upset the apple cart. They're the gladiators of the road that we're going to be talking about. Nothing like the intensity of the start at these events. Yeah. So you can hear Jeremiah now. I'm not sure if he can hear us or not, Nathan. But one thing, I mean, it's really comparable. I would say the start of a World Cup mountain bike race, or for that matter, a World Cup cyclocross race, to what we're going to be experiencing here. But the power of that group always seems to bring things back together. Like I said, though, you never really know, do you? I love this racing. Let's get it on, guys. We're getting close to hitting out here. Right, that's the sound of some watts being made out of Harrisburg, Virginia. We're hearing from Jeremiah Bishop. Nathan, again, a guy who really is a legend. Go all the way back to his effort to make the American Olympic team for the 2004 games. That caught a lot of people's attention. I would recommend you go out there and watch Off Road to Athens at some point. It's an
we were
awesome
having a
movie.
we were having a great conversation about that actually just prior to the race starting here. And I think that actually was an inspiration to me to get racing mountain bikes. Actually, was that movie? So I mean, we've got some talent hanging out in here, and definitely go and check that out. Now, looking at the results though so far in this series, we've got 201 points here standing right now for James Phillips. James Phillips at 6 races in. Brett Boniface from the Dropouts team. Be watching out for him. 170 points. There's points up for grabs, 35 points to the winner here. So, I think that there might be a situation here where we could see some upset. We thought that James Phillips was unstoppable. We thought Canyon ZCC had this one in the bag, but it looks like there may be dropouts. Also, they've had some pickups recently for their team, and I think they've really showed up on the day here with a full squad. I'm seeing Hal Blackburn, Luke Jabot. We've got Matt Wheeler, Mike Schwartz, Stephen Pink, all in here from the Dropouts team. They showed up with a squad of 6 riders to support their man Brett Boniface today.
Yeah, I look at the Belgian rider. I call him the freight train, Lionel Viassen as well. When he's in the mix, I mean, that no matter what size the group that goes to the line, he's going to be there. I always keep my eye on him. He's really a bellwether racer.
Yeah, Lionel Viassen jumping in here
Yeah,
today. We're seeing,
Jeremiah, just follow Lionel around. You should be fine.
we'll
If you're in
see.
the group with him, it'll be okay.
Yeah. And we'll see. Jeremiah, I'm going to see real quick if he can hear us now. Jeremiah, do you got us on mic? Oh, Jeremiah's
I'm not
taking. I
sure
think
that he
I'm
does.
not sure that he hears us, but Jeremiah's doing Instagram photos right now, which is absolutely great to see. We'll get some shots in here of his warm up. We'll have a little bit of in ear here and there. He is using Bluetooth headphones out here today. So we will definitely be getting a little bit of uh, interference here and there once in a while from the trainer, but we'll try and make sure that we keep that down just a little bit. But we do got about a minute 24 to go to the start of the race out here today. We're going to go ahead and just jump into the pens. The women's race is going to be starting at about 5:18 on the day here. So it's definitely going to be fast and furious as usual, though, I think, for the starts. Dave, Fast and Furious is what it's all about when it comes to race starts out on Zwift.
And Jeremiah's going to be well aware of that. You're talking about a mountain bike legend, but he was an early adapter of racing on Zwift as well. So, yeah, this will be really fun to watch and see how he's able to adapt to this. It's insane what happens here. It's literally, as we now lock and load here, this is not a drill, guys. Big time racing is back. It's a 43-kilometer showdown. Again, Jeremiah Bishop being welcomed into the group. Nathan, I'm pumped. Here we go.
Yeah, it's 33 seconds to go here. Like you said, Canyon ZCC, be on the watch out for them. I have a feeling that they are definitely going to be pushing the pace for their man. Let's see how many riders that are jumping in here. I do see at least Lionel. Maybe Lionel's taking up the reins though for the team out here today. I'm going to see if I can find. There is Austin right here with about 20 seconds to go to the start here. Going to be 110 beats per minute currently coming from the rider. And it's going to be everything you got. 500. You can see it ramping up in the upper left-hand corner. As usual, Fast Swift starts here. And Lionel taking off. 129, though. Looks like he's backing off. Not going to take the whole shot. L'Oreal now taking to the front as well. Jockey Boniface there. Z-Power looks like Boniface then as well with the Dropouts team now. Olsen there from SZ making his way to the front. And now this is going to be an interesting, fairly calm, I think, though, from the get-go. Dave, as far as, after this initial kick, it's going to calm right on down because there's not going to be a lot of situations where anybody can try and get away.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, you've got to come into this with some type of a strategy. There's tactic and there's strategy. I mean, when you look at it, Brian Hodges, another rider that we'd certainly like to highlight here. If it does come down to a kick, which, I mean, odds are extremely good it does, he's a guy that puts some massive numbers out. That man is a human wattage cottage. I can't imagine that anybody wants to go to the line with him. It's just such a beautiful sport the way we bookend these races. So 43 kilometers when it's done and dusted. But Nathan, the start sometimes even harder. Well, I guess it's not harder than the finish, is it? But if you can't hang in the start, you'll never be there for the finale.
That's 100% true. And a lot of times, actually interesting to see here. We were just having a conversation about this, about some of the first live esports events. And the man that went to Las Vegas and took the first esports event that we had is in the race. Justin Purificati is showing up on the day. Very interesting to see Purificati is out here. Very strong rider. Always be watching out for him. I'm also seeing a pro rider here, Bolivian here, coming ICA now, number 72, coming out of Canada. This has been one of the from seeing here, one of the KISS Super League racers that has not changed up the name since then. So good to see another pro racer jumping into the race.
Nathan, as we take a look at it's still Grupo Compacto, everyone all together right now. How much has the level come up, even in this last month, as the worldwide quarantine situation? Have you noticed some new faces? Because it's really interesting to hear you talking about some guys that were around for the start of this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Esports, I'm talking about.
the level all around has definitely come way up. There's just a reality that it used to be I jump into a race when I was racing. I raced domestic, elite pro mainly. I have done a couple of World Cups, but early on, I could show up and I could be very confident that I would be in the top 3, top 4, winning a race, usually winning these races early on in Zwift racing. Now, I'm lucky if I'm sitting inside the top 10, top 20, and that's just from my personal experience. And these guys are focusing specifically on these races. And I was talking to Jeremiah actually prior to us getting this all set up together to bring him into the racing. And he was saying, it actually is a specific kind of genre of racing. There is actually a way that you race these. Jeremiah was talking about how and this is his avatar actually in game here. He was talking about how he has to focus on more of a endurance. He lately it's been more of the 100 miler stuff like that. I mean, recently he did like the highest Strava point, the impossible climb in Hawaii. I mean, that's the more of his focus. And that these guys are pushing these crazy intensities for these very short races. Definitely a certain kind of genre, and of racing. Extremely high wattages that you need to be able to put out for very short bursts. But the level, in my opinion, I saw some people saying in the broadcast yesterday, oh, it'd be great to see the pros out here. Look, I agree in some sense it's cool to see genres mixed, but this is a pro level of itself. There is world-class power being put out here amongst the top elites in this esport.
Nathan, just like when you take a top level road racer and throw them into a mountain bike race, you don't expect to see them get on the podium, let alone a top 10 type of result. Same thing for a lot of the, if you want to call it the IRL racers who are going to be coming in and jumping in with esports racing. There's going to be a major reality sandwich served up to those guys. And the finesse of this style of racing, the way that the tactics play out, it's the learning curve might be steep, and certainly for an extremely fit athlete, it'll be a lot quicker for them to adapt. But believe me, this is a whole different style of racing, a different kind of athlete. And to be honest, I think that these guys, one of the most fascinating things, and again, able to have this conversation because we still see the group together here, but you can go deeper in an esports race because you're not actually going to fall off your bike. Well, you might fall off your bike, but you're not going to crash at 50 miles an hour.
I love that. So, I love that. You might not fall. Well, you might fall off your bike.
You might, right. Again, that's all you. But
from the effort, I mean, the efforts are insane, Dave. They are just absolutely
insane. They really are. I mean, like you talk about guys going cross-eyed. Well, they're going just absolutely, it goes dark for some of these guys in these final sprints. I mean, you want to talk about what it takes for an athlete that weighs 65 kilos to make 1,200 watts of power. I mean, that's insane kind of numbers. These are numbers that you don't see. I remember going up to some riders back in the day, the HRM, the power meters, like Cipollini, who was a big rider. Now, Cipollini had to have weighed over 70 kilo, right? And he was not making 1,500 watts at some of the sprints at Tour de Georgia. Cavendish was only making, Cavendish wouldn't even make 1,100 watts when he would win sprints at the Tour of the Missouri. So, we're seeing bigger power numbers from these
big numbers from these boys. And also the tactics too. The tactics that are needed in order to win a sprint. There is a definite way that you win a Zwift racing sprint. There's just a reality that if you don't know what you're doing, and we've seen that time and again in the pro-am races where the pros give a go and they try and do it the way that they would do it in a real life sprint. And there is a way that you need to learn how to bring the speed correctly with the game. So it's definitely its own way of sprinting or trying to create breakaway situations.
Yeah, isn't the word finesse, Nathan, really? That, like when you're in that last kilometer, which I'm going to expect, to be honest, that 80% of these guys, I mean, that's the thing. When you're racing at this level, the separation between the very top guys and the guys that you would call, the rest of the pack, it's such a small group. It sounds like we're hearing Jeremiah there. Actually, I think that they're a little bit of a lull right now in the group. This is normal. You go through that first surge. They didn't really shake out anybody, did they? But now, Nathan, we're settling in. Let's get ready for the next volley here. There's got to be an attack, right? Couple guys going to make a run at it. Sand and Sequoia's course doesn't offer that much vertical for riders to use as a launching pad for an attack. That's for sure.
On this section, no, it does not. A little bit later on, we're gonna get a little bit more. Definitely a little something, once we do hit the climb. So we'll head into Titans Grove and there'll be some punchy climbs. And since we are doing 2 laps, things are going to change up a little bit in that respect. So definitely going to have a little bit of opportunity. The moment that we are leaving the lower sands, the Tempest Fugit area, then we will have a little bit of a kick there as well. So there's a couple of sections. Actually, there is actually a Zwift Insider article specifically on how to race this course that I gave I helped write up alongside a Zwift Insider. It definitely is a very tactical course, though, because if you want to give a go to try and create any kind of breakaway, you've got to use every section out on course to make it happen. And it's kind of a start from the bottom of to the top of the Titans Grove climb. You can't, and it's not the KOM where you start. You have to start actually leaving this section. There's an initial climb out of this section, this flatter section, of course. It drops down a little bit. You got to get enough gap and enough distance to keep that gap so nobody holds you will, and then kick again later on once you actually hit the official KOM. And it's a very up and down KOM. There's about 3 or 4 punches. It kind of flattens out a lot. So it's all about speed actually on this climb. A lot of times it's not so much about the watts per kilogram. It's about kicking very, very high watts per kilogram when you do get an uphill grind. But then at the other points, it's more about keeping the speed as high as you can and maybe working with a smaller group. That's usually the only way it's going to happen.
Jeremiah Bishop joining us. You can see he's sitting right up in the front of the group here. Nathan Jeremiah has been in the top 10 at the World Mountain Bike Cross Country Championships. He really raced the full spectrum of mountain bike events, all the way from the marathon stuff to the short track, where he's been national champion multiple times. Doing a very good job. I don't know if Jeremiah can hear us or not, but more than holding his own right now in this hyper elite group that we're looking at, KALAS Cup Round 9. All right, Nathan. Looks like everything's status quo right now. Our man Jeremiah is doing a good job. I'm glad to see him survive that first sector there. He knows
Yeah,
what he's doing.
he was up and out of the saddle a little bit here and there, sweating pretty good, it looked like. So he's definitely survived up to this point. 4.8 watts per kilogram, though, it looks like, now 5.2. So definitely having to push a pretty high pace. I think in order to stay with this elite group here at this point, you'd need to be putting out somewhere into I believe it's going to be somewhere into the 4 to 4.5 just to hang on at the initial sections of this course.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, especially folks that are new to Zwift right now, as we're watching this incredible shift, that they wouldn't be able to sustain that for 30 seconds. That's how elite this group is that we're looking at. So, all right, little over 8 kilometers in. Pace moving along quite briskly here at 50K. As you said, that magic number, though, 4.5 watts per kilo, really 5, isn't it? I mean, you got to be able to comfortably make 5 watts per kilo right now to stay up in the vanguard of this. There's Adam Zimmerman. He's always been a rider I identified with early. He was at that New York City launch that we did with Eric Min as the kind of kicked off the esports revolution that was happening.
And he's a little bit more local to you as well, I believe, coming out of Colorado. So,
yeah, he's just down the road. I'm presenting on Zwift from here in Fort Collins. He's down in Boulder, which is about a 60-kilometer bike ride.
Right on. So now we do also have the women's race. We are covering that. So I know a lot of questions will be coming in. Where's the women's race at? Where's the women's race at? And our feed with the women's race looking good today. Awesome to see. And it looks like we've got 53 women jumping in here. Leah Thorvaldsen, Team Turbo, the first ever Zwift Academy winner, is in here. We're also seeing it looks like Kirsten Pohl, the KRT team. A lot of the riders actually that have been hammering away out in the Pro-Am races. So it looks like Duncombe coming from Team Vision. Claudia Baring, also a local to you out there, Dave, in Colorado, it looks like, from Canyon ZCC. So, and the current standings here, Vicky Whitelaw, currently 288 points, it looks like. Kristen Falk there with 7 races, 235. So Vicky Whitelaw, she's got this thing wrapped up. It's really going to be for about that 3rd place for anything changing. Claudia Baring, if she's able to take down the win out here today or any serious points, she could sneak up on Louis Feurzine, who's currently sitting in 3rd place overall from Team Cryogen, but it's going to be a tough ask. I think on the day, it's going to mainly be about the results on the day, because I think most of the spots in the series overall for the women at this point are fairly locked up.
I love seeing Leah out here as well. As you mentioned just a second ago there, Nathan, the winner of the first ever Zwift Academy. You know, obviously her passion was legit, right? She wasn't just doing that to try to become an Instagram star. She's been out here racing consistently now for more than 4 years on Zwift. I love her passion. She's a really good example of using Zwift to make your life better. No doubt about it. This group
Dave,
looks like it's going to make a selection. I just have a feeling that not everyone that we're looking at is going to be in the group that sprints here. What do you think, Nathan? Can someone split this up here with a huge attack?
Amongst the women, I think that we may be able to see something if we do see the
Little more
team,
likely,
the
right?
Team Heino, if they show up, Turbo as well with team, and then as well as Team Draft. But Turbo has been extremely impressive to me recently. We did see Barrow from Team Turbo making an upset this past week in one of the pro-am type races. We also saw obviously Leah Thorvaldsen. She's been a driving force in that team to close down any gaps that have been happening out there. But Heino always the dominant force. We can see there is a red and black Heino jersey up toward the front there. I think that's going to be Vicky Nealon actually hammering away from Team Heino. Looking through some of the riders here, the Vikings also might be somebody to be watching out for. I am seeing a check mark here from a rider out of the Netherlands, though, as well. Hugeboom is probably totally mispronouncing that, but I'm wondering if this rider might be a dark horse on the day. Always watching out for the check marks out on Zwift because most likely there's some serious in real life results coming from them.
I'm going to guess Hugeboom after Huga Heide. But a nice solid Dutch name, a rider that I'll be watching for here.
Now,
All
looking
right,
through
we
the
can
men's race,
hear.
though, the men's race. Well, you can hear Jeremiah. Now, I
Okay.
muted him on the broadcast end just
Okay.
because it's gonna be crazy loud. Because here we go, the Watt bombs are about to start, and
Yeah.
it looks like Zimmerman's making his way to the front. Light rider, as you said, out of Colorado, knows how to climb, but it's gonna be. It looks like Draft now taking over toward the front. The Vikings now are up there as well. It looks like out of the 146 riders, I believe most of the pack has made it to the first time to the bottom of the climb. Now, this is first time though. This is the first time out of two. So they might not see the full-on attacks right here, but they're definitely going to try and soften up the legs. Like you said, it's a very difficult course to get away on. The last couple times we've done it, though, it's only been a one lapper. So with 2 times around, I think a good amount of pressure here, just keeping it at a very high pace, may be able to soften up some of the competition for a second time around up the KOM to try and break away.
All right. Well, taking a look again, nobody. You talk about in order to win, you have to risk losing, but there's also the Don Quixote element of tilting against windmills out here. I think that these guys, the level of experience that they have, realize that no one is going to be attacking at this point in the race and be riding that to the line. So you kind of, as Dave Zabriskie used to say, you have to let the game play sometimes. And I think it's hard enough just hanging in the front of this group and staying out of trouble. Watching for being attentive, as they say, is one thing. Wasting calories riding up on the front is another. And
Yeah,
yeah, I get
100%.
the
We do have
feeling.
the women's feed here in the lower left-hand corner. I'm just going to
Oh,
bring
good.
this in really quick, actually, because off the front right now, I just saw a really interesting attack. So let's go ahead and bring that in here real quickly because this is interesting to see. The women here, I was not expecting anything whatsoever through this section, but Olivia Barrow, Team Turbo, who was the big upset this past week, she's obviously got some form going on here. The Canadian 6.2 watts per kilogram hammering away. It looks like she might have had a dropout on the heart rate though, which means unless she can get that back for a good, because there's a certain percentage, if you have a dropout with it, you can get it back and have a good 75% of it recorded. And a lot of times they let that pass, but hopefully now on the day though, still going to go out there and get the result regardless of the heart rate. We do know she's a very verified rider. Sometimes they let it slide with the heart rate because they have past power profiles out there. We'll have to wait and see what the race organizers would throw down. She's a very well-known rider. Obviously, with this past week, being the Tour of Watopia, taking down some solid sprints. Hopefully we'll see what happens with Barrow here. 5.6, 5.7. This is a break, though. She's got 5 seconds over a group that doesn't look like it's extremely interested in matching those watts.
Yeah, I guess they're going to give her a little bit of leash here. Yeah, Nathan, there's something about professional courtesy or understanding as we'll flashback now to the men's race. But man, she was hovering right there at 6 watts per kilo. Is that attack will be one to watch. But here we go, picking up our friend. There you go, Jeremiah Bishop. American legend hanging right in this group. But you can see it's not for lack of effort, man. You can't nail this one in. Good job, Jeremiah.
Yeah, Jeremiah is absolutely killing it right now, as you can see, and it looks like his Wi-Fi maybe brought his camera in a little bit fuzzy there, but that's the reality of the internets as we bring in everybody from their pain caves. But it looks like the pressure was put on. I did want to come back to the men's race real quickly here. I am seeing the comments coming through over in chat. If you are on YouTube, you are on Facebook, you are on Twitch, bring your chatter in. I'll try and bring the comments in as best as we possibly can. One of the comments I did see come on through say separate the feeds between the men's and the women's races. Do them at separate times. That is not up to the broadcasters. That's great feedback. That is not up to Zwift. It is also not up to us here at ZCL or any of us. That is up to the race organizers. They are the ones who set up the races, and they would need to set up a specific event only for women and then a specific event only for men that are starting at separate times. So we do see that feedback coming through often from a few of the commenters. We 100% appreciate that, and I actually think it'd be pretty cool to have a specific event only for. But in the community, a lot of times the timing and the rhythm and making sure everybody gets their race in throughout the week, there's just a reality that racing at the same time is easier for everyone all around, and a lot of times the women actually prefer it to get their ride in. Well, maybe not the elite esports team that are completely focused on this. They may want, okay, we just want this women's race only at a specific time. But for everybody to get their race in, it's up to the organizers. It has nothing to do with us. We have no control over it whatsoever. But we try and bring in all the feeds as best as we possibly can. So just want to make sure we're answering any questions that are coming in there. That's also what this community space is all about, is making sure people understand what is going on. And now we look at what's going on here, and it looks like Boniface, this is the rider. He's looking for the points over the top of the KOM. 11 watts, 12 watts per kilogram, all in. Austin's looking to steal. Austin here, you know what he's doing? He's protecting his man Phillips, and Lionel Austin steals it at the top there. Boniface, 10 watts per kilogram coming through. Morton Vang, looks like Jeldon's followed up by Olsen, but our male there coming through. There could be a split here. We'll see what happens. There is a serious kick at the bottom of this climb. It's an 8% uphill gradient, Dave, and I think because it's the sharpest kick, it may be an opportunity if they carry some speed over the top.
Yeah, these are the moments, right? You don't get that many of them to the first lap here, but this is one. It looks like about 8 riders coming together. Let's see if they're going to be able to collaborate at this point. Everybody's got to be taking some inventory, looking around. I mean, you'd have to say that Lionel, the Belgian Express, lights the fuse, but here they come. More guys rolling back up that gap. Just a few seconds right now, Nathan. I'm going to imagine they weld this back together here. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the that camera angle's not the greatest. We'll see. We're looking through rocks here. I need what the hell? Why is that? What's going on with the helicopter? Why is my helicopter not doing the right thing? No, just messing everybody. I don't know why the helicopter be hanging behind that mountain, but it looks like we're back in with the zoom cam here, and it looks like the group. I think they're going to bring it back. There's just too many riders that have made it, but that split was serious. There was definitely a solid 10-second gap at a certain point. It does look like Jeremiah here, our pro on cam, was able to make this group here. Looks like a little bit of suffering though coming in from Jeremiah at this point. A little bit, I think this is a pretty serious effort here at this point for the rider. As now it looks like concentration though. We'll be able to see what this kick though puts in. I definitely want to get a couple of live shots of what it is to come over the top of this little 5 to 8% gradient. Now up and out of the saddle, as you can see. 6 watts per kilogram, 5 watts per kilogram, following wheels here real quickly. 174 beats per minute. We're looking at 457 watts. Just following. It looks like playing it very smart actually here. Jeremiah, it seems to be having a little bit more experience than we thought perhaps out here on Zwift.
Yeah, boy, you look at the guys who are making the mark right now. Extremely strong, always up the. Yeah, you can. Well, I can hear Jeremiah saying these guys are ripping, and that's right. You can see it's starting to string out a little bit. Boniface is up there. The Canadian is relentless, isn't he? I mean, this pound for pound, ounce for ounce. I don't know that there's anybody stronger racing a bike in the world today than Boniface. And here we go, Jeremiah Bishop up there.
I think these are the only people, Dave. I think these are the only people racing bikes in the world
good
today.
Point. You make an excellent point. Yeah, I should have thought that through more, right? So, yeah, but look at this. Heavy hitters to apply at the front because that's I'm surprised to see how many guys are able to hold on. This pace has been brutal here through these rollers, Nathan.
It really has been. I'm going to take a quick little look here at see if we can get some good helicopter shots. They're going to be rolling through here. I think things are going to calm on down. And as they make their way back on over toward the flats of the Tempest Fugit out on the Sand and Sequoia course, that's the flatter desert sections of the course. Let's go ahead and jump back in with the women while the men calm down because they're just starting to heat up on their climb now. So Barrow was off the front there. She's been pulled back in, as you can see, 258 watts, as you can see now. A little bit of splits at the back here, though. 3 seconds, 1 second. Now we're seeing Holmes trying to hold on from Team Draft. The Vikings here, it looks like, as well, right on the back, out of Norway as well. Revo still in there. Kostanovs is there. Daniela Estrate, who's been a very, as we said, over and over again, Estrate has been an amazing rider from Team Revo that's been challenging that Hino and Turbo team as well as Canyon ZCC often. We'll see if she can make the thing is she's been playing second fiddle over and over again. Once in a while, we see her take a win. Will this be Daniela's day? She's been extremely motivated, very new actually to the world of Zwift racing just this past year. So I think she's still still starting to really get the fitness for this kind of racing, but she has definitely been a force, as well as just getting to know the ropes as well. It does take some time, but over and over again, we've seen over her right up in that podium area. I think she's going to really try and take down that win in a sprint. She's been dominant, but always in those sprints. She's about third, fourth place, maybe second. See if she can take down Hino today.
Little bit of a surge going on right now. You can see some riders at the back of the group starting to take on water. As a matter of fact, kind of watching it slow motion, a split happening right now in the women's race, Nathan. You can see White Claw, who most dominant rider without a doubt throughout the series, back up there. That should have some alarm bells ringing back through
That's
the
a
group.
good spot, actually. That's a good spot, Dave.
That is the sweet spot, isn't it? Boy, I tell you what, I would not want to be sitting outside of the top 20 right now. And you can see they're blowing this one up. There's a mushroom cloud going up over Watopia right now. There's got to be a dozen riders right now that are it's on the line here, whether they're going to make it in the front. Wow.
Yeah, and looking here, Whitelaw, when you see her making her way to the front here, 4 watts per kilogram, as you can see now, a little bit of a bump here. I think they're just keeping the pace very high. It's not full on attacks, but it is definitely doing some damage here to the back end of this group. As you can see, it's starting to split riders one after another. It's just a little bit over that pace they could possibly hold for the full climb to the top here.
Yeah, they're making a selection here. No doubt about it. This is the grind. Whitelaw, a barrel up there, the Canadian. And there's an attack. Here we go. Lighting a fuse. Let's see. Is it Falk that we're looking at? The Canyon runner. It is. Okay. Well, let's see what kind of a response we're going to get. This is a big, big moment in the women's race. And another effort here from Falk going up and over the top of her original surge. This is some great racing going on, Nathan. Here we go.
Yeah, and it's Thorvaldsen trying to chase that down. Team Turbo, she's been the workhorse for the team. Thorvaldsen, the Zwift Academy winner. Polly Mason, also from Team Fearless. We didn't mention Fearless is in here. Watch out for Polly Mason. She's another one right alongside that Daniela Estrate. Playing second fiddle here and there's going to be looking for a win. Whitelaw, though, coming across there. That's the strong. Oh, the move from Whitelaw. 10 watts per kilogram. She was patient. Will she be able to come through, though? It looks like Kristen Falk trying to steal the points at the line. They've got some extra points here, and it looks like no. Falk grabs it here. Whitelaw looking to come through, it looks like, and make the break here. Lindsay Dobcombe, though, from Vision, and Nealon here. Nealon's not going to make the chase. Team Hino's not going to chase their own teammates here at this point. Looks like KRT is up toward the front there as well, actually. Didn't even realize we've got a KRT rider in here. Is that going to be Rachel Elliott, perhaps, now? Now it looks like C. Watts there as well as Olivia Barrel. This is going to be the split, though. I'm not sure it's going to come back together. Lots of riders. Look at the just demolishing the pack. McKay from AHDR trying to work with Grobler, but there's not a large group of riders at this point. It's just mayhem. The bomb has gone off and it's splintered everything apart here at this point, and it's going to be very difficult without enough bodies to break that speed come up to chase this back down.
No doubt. The train left the station. If you're not on it, I wouldn't expect to be winning a bike race here, wherever you are around the globe, but this is it. So, wow, what a move. I mean, you take a look at the names that are in that front group. I don't see the horsepower available to chase them back, but they're trying. They're not going to go down without a foul. This is an absolute Donnybrook. I mean, it's like we're looking at the small echelons coming together in the crosswinds in Belgium in the Spring Classics here. It looks like 3 groups have now formed. It's every woman for herself up here. All right. So let's see. Is it going to be group two making the catch? It looks like they will. So we're going to merge these two groups together here. Falk started this thing, and now it looks like the depth of the field starting to show. That's what really I think we're seeing in esports racing here in 2020 is Nathan, 2 years ago, this move doesn't come back. Today, it looks like about half of the women that started in that the original peloton might have some kind of a chance to keep their head above water here.
Look at
Wow,
her
what
straight.
an
Look at
exciting
Daniela. Look at Daniela on the front. She doesn't want to wait up. She sees the pack coming back here. She sees that third group trying to make the juncture. This is the 5, now 6, 7, 8% gradient. There's a kick here now. You can work with it. And she is trying to say, no, I know you're working back there. You put in a huge effort. It's going to be here up. Madsen actually from Turbo just getting back on. Pole is there from KRT trying to come back. As you can see now, this is the situation here where you need to press the pedals if you don't want any more riders in a sprint at the end. And Daniela Straight wants to continue to whittle this down. Now, the reality is, though, she continues to do this with the kind of talent that is on her wheel. She's going to end up maybe burning too many matches. She works her way back to the back of the pack. They are working together a little bit there to make sure there's not too many riders that come back. All top 3 in the series are in this lead group, though. We got Vicky Whitelaw, obviously Kristen Falk making the kick over the top of the KOM, as well as Louis Furzan. So those are the 3 riders, top 3 overall in the series, looking for as many points as they possibly can. There's also going to be riders in here that are in the top 10. Obviously, we're looking at Canyon ZC, Claudia Baring. We'll see if she still made her way through here. I do know Claudia was feeling a little bit under the weather, so we'll have to wait and see if she's made this lead group, if she's been able to bounce back here. But now to the front, it looks like Heino taking over. Lizzie Duncombe as well from Vision. I believe the Vision rider is also standing somewhere within the top 10. I'm just taking a quick look through here. We are seeing Rachel Elliott now riding for Newberry Velo, actually. Interesting to see here. Rachel Elliott's got a change up. I wonder if she's shown up on the day. But now looking, it looks like we have had a lead group that's of 11 that have gotten away with the chase, it looks like, of 3. And Revo's got 2 in here, though. With 2 teammates, you might see a little more teamwork, actually. Kristen Pohl there as well, KRT coming out of Germany.
That's the story of how you make a race. If anybody wonders, if you don't want to have a field sprint, this is how you prepare the final lap. And we're going to be coming up on that pretty quickly here. Wow, we're merging into the middle part of the race, no doubt. A whole new phase here. That group that you're looking at, the 3 chasers, we've got a group of 11 up the road, including Whitelaw. I think, it's been her season, hasn't it, throughout the 8 KALAS events that have happened already, Nathan? She's been the woman to beat, without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. Whitelaw has been the one to beat. I mean, well, Heino in general, once in a while. Now, recently, though, recently it's been a little bit different, though. We have seen a lot of moves from some of the other teams taking down what has been the freight train that has been Heino. Heino was extremely dominant as the DBR team, actually, in the first go in the Tour to Zwift. And then, we actually have a breakaway situation going on in the men's race, though. Let's jump back on over to the Tempest Fugit here. We do have Bishop here now, as you can see. Now moving way to the front, it's going to be Canyon Echelon now. Brian Hodges, Evoke, just watching. It looks like the Evoke esports team showing up on the day. Moving our way forward as best as we can to find these breakaway boys. And there is something up the road. And of course, it's, I believe, the Dropout boys. KALAS, I got Vidar Mail here now. Bishop. See if we can find our way forward here and get exactly who is off the front. Unless this is a catch. And no, it's actually going to be Four-Eye, Canyon Echelon, Four-Eye, Shield, and then Purificati. So these boys are going to know each other, too, from in real life racing, I believe. Canyon Echelon, Four-Eye, as well as Justin Purificati. They're going to be fairly familiar. ODZ showing up, one of the original teams out on Zwift. They've got one of the largest club teams, as well as they've been a very strong force in the esports world of racing out on Zwift. But it looks like it's going to get shut down. It's a solid effort, but 6.4 on the front. They do got 2 seconds still. There could be some commitment, but Jay David from PLCC, this guy just like to bring breaks back. He just is a workhorse. Doesn't matter if it's for a team or the pack here, and he does just that.
Nathan, I'd be surprised if ODZ wasn't the largest Swift club in the world, to tell you the truth. I think they have thousands of members. Can you quickly Pierre that was in that break a moment ago? You'd have to say that he was one of the original stars of esports. Is that fair to say? I'm curious.
Pierre Ficati. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, his move on the Richmond Worlds course at that first event was amazing. He went with 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go. Actually, GP Llama for all those out there, the YouTube channel. Bishop's going. Here we go. We'll get back to what Pierre Ficati was doing because we've got a move here from Jeremiah Bishop. He is up and out of the saddle now, as you can see, hammering away, and he's trying to go across. It looks like to T-Rug Green Cycling here. Will he be able to make this happen? Here's the view. This is his first-person view here. We'll see if we can get into it now, and it looks like Bishop now is trying to go with Brett Boniface is there as well. Jeremiah Bishop, Brett Boniface going across now, and it looks like we've got Pentalero. This is a serious move.
Wow.
Way before any kind of climb at this point. Jeremiah's up and out of the saddle again, as you can see, trying to make this move happen alongside of some of the other riders now. Will it happen, though, is going to be the question, because Vyassen's coming across. It's splintering the group. This is the top dogs, though. These are the boys that need to make things happen. These are the ones who have the power. Vyassen, Pantalo from Evoke, but KALAS is sitting in quietly, just following wheels. They've got so many riders. Vidar Mail, he's got a killer kick over a climb, and they're going to drag this back, I think. Mail, though, going across. If Vidar gets involved here at 8 watts per kilogram and gets away from this group, KALAS may let this go. We've got Evoke involved here as well. 3 riders off the front. The speeds are so high up front. Now we've got 6 of the strongest riders, though. Will this be able to happen? Here's Bishop now kicking it. Look at him up and out of the saddle. Oh, my goodness. This is a move here, Dave. What a kick now. The counter from Jay Barnes, though. Oh, the New Zealander goes across. Absolutely awesome. We've got kids in the background hanging out in we've got a stormtrooper with Jeremiah. I'm going to make this big screen. This is absolutely awesome. I'm loving the stormtrooper here. Very cool to see as Bishop is hammering away. And looks like the kiddos are home as well in the background cheering him on.
Well, I don't know if the stormtrooper is going to be too excited as Barnes has got a couple riders joining now. It looks I'm going to go with Evans and Luke getting up there. The group, though, all right, I think they're going to be able to regulate this one. We're going to reset one more time. Wow, it has gone absolutely bananas out there. Our man, Jeremiah Bishop, certainly animating and dictating out there. And there you go. Hit the reset button one more time, but it looks like, again, it's going to be another Canadian attack. They're going to make a run out. There's a good look at the Harrisburg, Virginia, where the stormtroopers are hanging out.
Where we got the stormtroopers. I absolutely love it. That's got to be, is that, I wonder if it's his wife or his kid. I think it's his wife. I'm not positive. But that's got to be one of the best scenes. Having fun. That's what it's all about. Hanging out. And great to see. The move has been shut down. It looks like Barnes has been brought in from Innovation here. Now the counterattacks. The men's race, it's fireworks nonstop. Nobody wants to back off. Everybody looking for that TV time, it seems like.
If anybody who didn't do this sport, if they looked at this group, they'd say, why doesn't someone just attack? The reality of how hard it is to attack out of a group when you're going over 50 kilometers per hour is insane. I mean, that you don't go up into the red zone, you go into the purple zone. And there's a man who's willing to try. All right, full gas effort. I believe this is going to be Pantalere that we're looking at, the American here on the Evoke team. Somebody wants to go with him. That's going to be Rug. Rug has been very active here. The green cycling rider coming up and over. Let's see if these two want to work together. Rug is now, all right, he's been in the bank. He's got the money, and now he's going to make a run at it. We got a long way to go here out on lap number 2 right now as we're coming up on 30 kilometers completed out of 43. Nathan, I think we call this the business end now. 2 riders off the front, Rug and Pantalere.
This is the business end, and the bets are being made here. It looks like Pantalere from Evoke, the new esports team, just launched this past fall, actually. And, you know, what's interesting about this team that's pretty cool in the background on the business end is that they're actually, so a lot of their administration and management comes from traditional esports, actually. Very involved in the world of traditional esports, Dota, CSGO, and these other competitions. So very cool to see some of that crossover, people who are involved in in that whole world, launching a team into this world as well. Always really cool to see the two worlds combined. That's exactly what this is about. This training platform and game and racing platform born from gaming, and now we're going to head into the climb, and it's going to be, this is that initial kick. It's not the KOM official here. They've got a 5-second gap. Wilson looking to go across. This could instigate something because they will, if we see orange numbers coming from this pack, like we're seeing from the Canadian Wilson here, we may be able to see some sort of a break happen if they come across and then work together and give some assistance to Patchelare and Rugg. Now Pierre Ficati to the front, ODZ, as we were talking about, the rider who was able to get away with one lap to go on Richmond and hold the llama off for that half a second at the line. Actually, it was one of the best moves we've ever seen. And Pierre Ficati, we'll see if he's got the form. We haven't seen him in a year or two, at the front of these esports events. But I think now coming back in as everybody's hanging out indoors a little bit more, looks like he's going to be able to throw down some wattage here at 183 beats per minute, 360 watts, shuts things right on down, and they bring back that attack that came from the Evoke team.
Wow. I mean, you talk about risk and reward. That one, certainly they stretch their legs out there, but this peloton is hungry, extremely hungry. Only one man is going to be licking his plate clean here. And we're getting close to that point, too. We're 38 minutes in. So really now you settle into a new rhythm at this point. I think, Nathan, the term animal instincts really has to come into play. You got to be very conservative in the efforts that you make, but you can't let the race right away. So look at that. I mean, he attacks a moment ago. Now Pantalera just fighting his way back into that group. It shows you can write a check a little too large, and you're going to be scrapping to make payment at the bank a little bit later. But I tell you, I have a feeling we're going to see another attack, at least one more move going clear before we start to set things up for what certainly looks like a sprint. These guys, though, they never back off. There's no quarter asked for and no quarter given. I know you can't, but we can hear our man Jeremiah Bishop is working very hard to stay in this group. Look at that. I mean, 6 watts per kilo. That's rarefied air.
Yeah, there are 6, 4, and 2 points over the top of the Titans Grove KOM. That is why they're fighting. So for those of you just tuning in, you didn't know, there are 6, 4, and 2 over the top. That's why there's a battle going on here, because this is still up for grabs. Lionel Viasen is not in the top series standings, but his teammate, who is not here today, James Phillips, is leading the series. But he started the day, I believe, on 201 points, excuse me. Boniface, 170. That's 31 points. If you win on the day, 35 points. Boniface has got the kind of kick. He's also a climber. If he gets 6 points twice, he's already gotten 4. He's closing the gap already. He's at 174. Now he just needs 30 points here, and he's in the lead in the series. The Dropouts team is showing up on the day. We're looking at Boniface's avatar here. They're called the Dropouts. It's the two blanks plus the watts, the W, like you see when you have a dropout out on Zwift. That's the idea. Is up in the upper left-hand corner. That's what you'll see on your watts if you see a dropout. But Boniface here, he's a man who can make it happen. We're going to see an all-out battle between Lionel Viasen, I think, and Brett Boniface again to the top for those 6 points.
Yeah, regulators mount up, I would say, because getting away from this group is going to take, I don't know that there's anyone that can get away from this group at this point. Wasn't there a cycling club in your home state of Wisconsin called the Dropouts, the Brazen Dropouts?
The Brazen Dropout! Right. I've raced those boys. I have some memories going around the southern Catamaran Forest on the roads down there for a couple of punchy early spring races before the mountain bike season, actually, with the Brazen Dropout boys. So yeah, definitely the Brazen Dropouts coming out of Madison. They put on a couple of great events actually with USA Cycling in Madison for some crit races. So yeah, Brazen Dropouts definitely old school team here out in the Wisco Dairylands.
So you're young enough. It's hard to imagine. You look at
young enough. I'm young enough.
Well, you're young enough that you were inspired by him to get into mountain bike racing, seeing another attack going up the road. So
it's actually Bishop. It's Bishop.
It is our man right on cue, Jeremiah Bishop, going to string this one out. Okay, so just a quick race resume for you as we get an in-screen shot of Jeremiah. Jeremiah's been top 10 at the World Championships in the cross country and back in what was a very high level of competition back in the mid 2000s. So his credentials, he's a Pan American gold medal winner in his career as well, Nathan, in the cross country. But he really had this just amazing range. He raced all the way from the short tracks to the marathon races, Cape Epics. He's done it all, but you can see that they brought him back into the group quite handily there. Even a guy like Jeremiah Bishop can't hold these wolves off.
Yeah, and there's just a reality, and he was saying this actually. We were a few days ago. We were chatting about it, and there's just a reality that the punchiness of these races, as well as the pack. Coming from mountain biking, road racing sometimes can be extremely frustrating because in mountain biking, it's who's the fastest. It's just who is got it to give. So there, at a certain point, you grab the whole shot and then you just keep a going. It doesn't have as much to do with the tactics. A little bit more in some of the longer races, obviously the 100-milers. You get on some flatter roads, Leadville, etc. You do have a lot of more tactical roadie kind of stuff, but there is just a reality that giver on the climb, and a lot of times you're going to sprint things up if you're the strongest man. A lot of times does win. In road racing, also obviously the tactics here in Zwift, as you can see with the drafting and the packs and the way that they work together, there's a lot more tactics. It's not always the strongest. It takes huge amounts of watts, huge amounts of strength to win. It also takes a very specific tactic there as well as a very specific talent pool, as we are seeing with these huge orange number kicks over the top of these climbs.
I mean, I almost think that esports suits a mountain bike racer better than a road racer in a lot of ways. The ability to just throw down wattage at will out there is really really important out here. The ability, it's not so much like if you want to ride in the first group in the Tour de France in the Alps, it's pretty much a steady state effort. That yeah, I mean it's at a ridiculously high level, but it's a steady state effort. This is not a steady state effort. This is just all over the shop. Taking a look at the front, I mean the big names are up there. Brandt is there. The guy that just never seems to leave the top 10 here, outside of our man Jeremiah Bishop, would have to be Rugg. The American has been very, very attentive.
He's
I'm
very
expecting
much a
something
dark
from
horse,
him.
though. We haven't seen,
Yeah,
it's interesting. We haven't seen him show up to a lot of racing specifically at this time. He may have other results we could look up over on Zwift Power, actually. And we do see Rugg, as you were saying. It's a great shot. It's a great shout out, actually, to see this rider here who has been so aggressive showing up on the day. But Boniface, the motivation is there. He wants the points. Vyazin trying to respond, steal the points away from Boniface. Vyazin coming on like a freight train, actually.
yeah.
Will he make it happen? It's
Yes,
all
he
in
will.
for James Phillips. It looks like it's only going to be
He got
4 points there for Boniface, as it's Vyazin grabbing 6, protecting his man, James Phillips. And now we're into this is the last quarter of the race. Will they keep the split? I don't think it's going to happen. Look at the KALAS boys all organizing here. Berg to the front. This is the red and black jersey of KALAS, as you can see here. They're making their way to the front, shutting things down as quickly as they possibly can. Look at Hodges get into the super tug. 0 watts to get into that super tug. If it's a negative 3% or more at 35 miles per hour or more, then you get into that super tug and you're able to just rest up. And it's almost like an arrow power up actually on the avatar. It gives you a little extra speed. You can see, look at the Vision Rider rolling right on through in that super tuck as well. So a lot of times, if you did not know that, if you are on a downhill, negative 3% or more at 35 miles per hour or more, I don't know, I have no idea what that is in kilometers per hour, but it's up in that 60 plus something. But if you get into that situation, 0 watts, get to 0 watts, you'll super tuck, but make sure you pedal again the second you hit more than a 3% gradient, because you're going to need to keep that speed. Rugg, though, that's a great shout out there, Dave. He's been such a strong rider, very aggressive on the day. There he goes again, 168. Are they going to try and split this apart? This isn't the usual one-lapper on San Sequoias. We're already 45 minutes into this race. There could be some tired legs. We could see a breakaway situation.
Nathan, earlier you were talking about, tell you what, man, in the business world, in the cycling, and never underestimate a group of strong, organized Norwegians. I tell you, that's a dangerous, dangerous group. Here we go, taking a look at the front of the group. You make a great point, Nathan. This is decidedly different what you're going through 45 minutes into a race versus half an hour in a race. And we still got another a good 6 minutes until this one has been sorted out. Who
Look at this
is going to
effort.
end up on the top
Looking
step?
at the
I know.
avatars. Look, Dave, looking at the avatars, like you wouldn't think. Did you see the effort that Jeremiah had to put out just to hang on mid pack amongst these boys? I mean, that looked like an all-out sprint. The suffering's on the face, a little shake of the head. Obviously, this has been a long race. You want to talk about the kind of efforts that they put out, the kind of suffering that's going on right now. You can see it in Jeremiah's face, and this is one of the most experienced athletes in the world. Obviously, it's a very, very difficult day on the bike here for 2 laps in Sand and Sequoias.
Oh, no, there is no question, Nathan. Jeremiah is a world-class athlete. Don't let his age fool you, even though he's into the twilight professional career. He works for Canyon. He does a lot organizing events on the East Coast of the United States. This is a world-class thoroughbred, and look at what it takes for him to hold in this group. All right, we are locked and loaded, gentlemen. This is not a drill. They're coming in hot now. This is the finale. We have begun the run into the finish line. KALAS Cup, round 9. It is a Donnybrook, Nathan. The group is all together right now, but look at this. They are absolutely at each other's throats here.
Yeah, we're looking to there's plenty of riders here, though. It's going to be a sprint finish. Nobody's going to be getting away. That last kick over the top of that little 8% grain or so did not make it happen. Going to take a quick look through over at Zwift Power for the live results. If you're unfamiliar with ZwiftPower.com, make sure to check it out, everybody. It's absolutely awesome. If you want to know how to get the results for these community organized events, that's the place to do it. Sign up over at ZwiftPower.com, make an account, and then you need to connect your account through the backend API. So you got to go over to your Zwift.com account, and you have to agree to the information being shared with ZwiftPower.com. But that is the place that all these community races are organized. Actually, GP Llama has a great video, I believe, on just doing just that. So make sure to go check out the man, one of the awesome partners with Zwift, who puts together all of the tech videos for us. But looking through here, 4.9 watts per kilogram at the higher end. Mac McLoon here riding unattached, it looks like. The top riders are how many have made it. It looks like 59 riders. Matt Brandt there, indoor specialist, is still hanging out. Watch out for him. We are seeing Alex Dion there. Cannondale 4i is in there. We're seeing Nick Prohl. We're also seeing Fusion with Matt Madsen. Vikings are still in there. Now, Vikings had a huge upset a few weeks back, actually, up against this kind of a crowd in the KALAS Cup, actually. Havard Geldings was the rider that was able to out-sprint some of these boys on the Watopia run-in. I believe we were on Watopia Hilly, so watch out for him. Havard Geldings, maybe an upset on the day, but I think the Dropouts boys, they've got 6 in. But who has made it? I think it's only Luke and Boniface. Mike Schwartz still in there? No, Mike Schwartz off the back. There's only 2 riders, actually, Dave. And I think that Luke is going to have to really put in a serious effort here to keep things together for Brett.
I'm watching the American Zimmerman, Adam Zimmerman, up quietly like a thief in the night right now through that group. Doing a very good job of positioning himself now. So he's got right up into the sweet spot. One rider dangling off of the front. All right, it's every man for himself. There's going to be some really sharp elbows in this group right now as everybody's looking. Boniface is so savvy, isn't he? The Canadian never misses a step. Okay. Well, hey, Nathan, if you could give our man Jeremiah some advice right now, because this is it. Here we go. What is it? What do you tell him?
Top 10. Stay within the top 10 to 15 riders and kick once to hold the wheel and kick twice before the bend. That's it. It's kick once. It's a double up. It really is. Yep. You got to hold the wheel that top 10. There'll be an initial kick right before they hit the actual sprint point. There'll be a little green marker on the right-hand side. And then before the bend, right on the flat straightaway, it's about another 50 meters or so, maybe 100, not even, after the sprint sprint marker, at that point, that's when you're going to do your actual kick. Now, there may be a situation where somebody gets a gap, and we've seen that before in these races. Jeremiah's actually up and out of the saddle. What's going on here? He's actually going. He's going way early. He doesn't want a sprint situation. Jeremiah Bishop is all in. Let's see if we can get to his avatar here. It looks like he is giving a go from, how far out? At 10 watts per kilogram. Bishop, he's giving it here. Going for it. Throwing down the beans. 5 seconds here, Dave. Will he hold?
Well, Nathan, he's been in the bank. He's got the money. Now he's in the getaway car with 1K to go. I think he's going to do it. This is on. Look at this effort right now from the American Jeremiah Bishop. He's a legend. Blown this group up again. You can see behind him have they given him too much real estate? They're coming now. They're going to the whip. It's the charge of the Light Brigade. Jeremiah Bishop now is scraping the bottom of the wattage barrel. There's going to be absolutely nothing left. This man is going to win or die trying here on Watopia. Nathan, I'm going to throw it back to you. What a finale we are witnessing. This is bananas.
Oh, and we do see it's just too much from the teams. The teams are bringing them back. They're bringing them back. Lowe here goes across. Will Lowe be able to hold on to South African? Bishop trying to hold on. 8 watts per kilogram. Up and out of the saddle again. Trying to grab the wheel of Lowe. We're into the sprint section. But here comes the pack. Wilson. Wilson's coming with him. M. Wilson out of Canada. Bishop, he gets swallowed up. Let's jump back in with the main group here as it's going to open up. Almdahl from KALAS. KALAS going now. Will he be able to hold on? Kirschberg coming through 11 watts per kilogram. The lead out from the dropouts, man. Luke G coming on through. Where's Boniface? Boniface coming through. This is the man who needs the points. He needs them now. Brett Boniface makes it happen. He takes over the series lead. Brett Boniface from the dropouts throws down and takes it down. What a sprint. Bishop tried making it happen there. Let's get the live look, though, Jeremiah. Boniface makes it happen, but Jeremiah just absolutely smoked, as you can see here. It's cooling down. Great job to Jeremiah out there. He absolutely killed it amongst this group, but it looks like it's going to be the man, Brett Boniface, that was able to make that happen. Now, guys, we still got a race going on, though. We'll jump in with the results in just a little bit here, but we still got the women's race now in just a moment as they head up toward the top of their climb. Kristen Falk, she still has points on the line. We saw her grabbing some points earlier. There's still one more round next week, so if you're loving this coverage, make sure to tune in next week because we've got round number 10, and now the splits are happening. Lindsay Dugholm out the front, Kristen Falk, Polly Mason, all trying to push the pace over the top of Vicky Whitelaw. We'll get the results as well as the replay for the men's race in just a moment here. We'll also see if we can get Jeremiah on to hear Jeremiah, at any point, if you can hear me, make sure to give me a head shake if you can or you can't. So maybe we'll do a post-race interview in a little bit as he does his cool down. But looking through here, man, it looks like we've got a select group that has been formed. And this looks to have happened at the bottom of this climb as McKay Grobler. Has Daniela Straight made this lead group is my question here. We were talking about her being a rider that's going to be looking for a result. And yes, she has, along with Leah Forvison. So we do have, it looks like, about 9 riders, I think, in this lead group. Falk is in there. Vicky Nealon, 10 riders, maybe 11 riders actually have made this lead group.
This is what you call a selection, without a doubt. The textbook here. So you can see the Norwegian, the Canyon rider, Falk. She was very animated. Yeah, we're going to grab a word with Jeremiah in a moment. He's certainly animated his race. But the ladies right now, again, 35K into a 43-kilometer slugfest, just like with the men. We're going to see. And actually, this might even be a more interesting finale. There's Nealon, the British rider. Okay, taking a look at this group, there is no question. All right, I'm going to make my call right now, Nathan. The rider who wins this race is going to be alone when she does it. I think there's going to be a solo attack today.
That's a big call there. That's a big call, but
I know. I'm brave. I'm brave. I'm like Jeremiah Bishop.
I think you're right, though. The reality is I don't know. It's a 50-50 for me. But Whitelaw is going here. They're going to want the points, and it's going to be about this section of the course. whether or not they're timid or not through here as well. And who's going to want these points? Whitelaw's going. She's trying to protect her position at the top, and it looks like she's doing just that. Falk has to respond now, and it looks like Whitelaw grabbing points easily. Falk taking the second over the top. So that's 6 and I believe 4 to the top 2. There is also the 2 points. I'm not sure who took it over the top. Maybe Louis Fierzine, as she's looking to protect herself too. Top 3 in the series still here for the women's race right now.
All right, some little surges happening in that group. Did you hear? I don't think you can hear Jeremiah saying he needs to have a bucket at home. Move like that, and
I'm
I
just
would
gonna
agree.
check and see if he can hear us actually this time around. Not sure if his headphones are bringing us in just yet. Let us know if he is responding to you, Dave, and then I'll bring the unmute in from him if he is responding to us specifically. Or you can send him some chat. Maybe we can just do some chat questions and get some back and forth from him. You have to help me out on that, and then I'll go ahead and bring the unmute in so everything makes sense. But Duncombe here now. Watts, Madsen now, Fierzine, Thorvaldsen is here, Daniela is straight, Polly Mason getting into the super tuck, knows how to use the game. Barrow's in there as well. And Barrow, Livia Barrow, Team Turbo, watch out for her in the sprint. She could be the upset here. Not so much in the overall for the series, but on the day here, that's a sprinter that we've seen recently able to dominate Tour Watopia. She's shown herself amongst the best.
Nathan, can a really strong rider win without knowing how to play the game?
Hey, I seen Mark Cavendish do it.
Yeah, so I guess if you're that strong, right.
But the way he did it, and I'm not sure the quality of the field at the time because it was quite a long time ago, but essentially Cavendish punched at 10 watts per kilogram, punched at 10 watts per kilogram, and he just kept doing it and just kept doing it and doing it. And eventually it just broke everybody. At this point, though, with the type of teams and the way they work together, not sure it would be able to happen. Very different environment now in the esports world of Zwift.
The Austrian rider Forster making a move. Daniela, that's Colombian, correct? I don't know my South American flags.
Yes, I believe
as well.
you are correct there.
So
Here,
Balk there as well, the Norwegian. So they are making a difference right now. Here we go. Buckle up, ladies. It looks like they're splitting this front group here. Okay, this is a dangerous moment here. Look at the horsepower there. Forster, Olivia is there. Again, the Canadian rider. She's been one of the major players in today's race. They're down to, well, right now, little over 5K to go. You can't afford to play around right now, Nathan.
No, and look, you can see Vicky Nealon here off the back, actually. Interesting to
Shocker.
see. Yeah,
That's one of
very
the
much.
I know.
Yeah, Fierzine, Thorvaldsen's off the back, Watts, Turbo with here, Madsen actually. So this is a serious move here. Not sure going to be able to hold on. Falk trying to whittle things down, I think, as she's not too interested in a sprint. Looks like it is. I don't know if this is coming back. Nealon doesn't have the power. 3-9. Nealon has no interest to chase this down because she's got Whitelaw ahead. It looks like it's going to be up to the rest of the teams here to bring this back together. Thorvaldsen, Turbo's off the back here. What is going on? But it looks like Livia Barrow maybe is up there. So perhaps they're just putting the trust in the two that are up for in the solo rider that is up front.
Romanian flag. I apologize. My bad. I will have all of my flags figured out here in the next couple of weeks. But again, so here we go. This is the move. So it's like the Agatha Christie 10 Little Indians novel, Nathan. And then there were 5. You don't add to this group. You only subtract the way these ladies are racing. And although, as I say that, it looks like we might just see a all-in effort from this second group to bring things back together. They're going to run out of real estate really quickly here.
Look at the catch. It looks like it's happening here.
Boy, I would agree. So, look at Thorvaldsen must be taking some big pulls back there right now as they are going to weld this back together. Okay, I got to admit, I am really surprised. I thought with the quality of riders that we had in the front end of this separation that they would be gone for good, but that shows you the fighting spirit. So the women that have made it to this point now, you're just not playing around. There you go. Hit the reset button. We got ourselves a new bike race, Nathan. That small split has been healed.
I am being told that Vicky Whitelaw did a TT this morning. So Vicky might not be recovered. We'll have to see if she did a time trial this morning. We'll have to see if she's able to hold on. If she takes the win out here today, that is next level. But she, maybe in the past, Whitelaw, years past, we've seen her in that kind of a dominating position, but the quality of the field has come up so much in the women's racing out here. Something that I absolutely love about Zwift as well, the ability to highlight all of the categories, and women's racing is really growing through Zwift. You can see it here. Look at the features we're able to do here. And Polly Mason from Fearless now taking over toward the front. Here, Madsen now, Turbo's back involved with 3 riders, actually. That is a lot of riders from Turbo here. They could really set something up well by pushing the pace. They got to start now, though. If they're going to start burning matches to try and put the others on the back foot, they can't wait till those last 500 meters.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you've got to go into the attack and repeat program. Force the others to cover and kill multiple moves, and hopefully you can slide a rider off of the front. I mean, that numbers game, it's tricky, isn't it? Because if you have 3 riders and a couple of them are in the top 6 strongest in this group, then you can really do some damage. But if you've got 3 riders that are basically just trying to hold the wheel right now, that's a whole different story. This is going to be fun to watch how this Machiavellian chess match plays out right now. Falk is my danger woman without a doubt.
It's so interesting to see here, Dave. Yeah, Falk, I mean, she has got everything to gain here, really. And there's reality series points as well as representing Canyons ECC very well. And there's also the reality we don't have a huge group here. 1 or 2 little attacks will quickly sprint through this, and some of the riders can really be hurting. There is opportunity here, like we did not see in the men's race, to do something now rather than wait for the sprint.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really hard group to race out of, right? I mean, every rider is exposed. You can't hide in a group of 30, 40 riders is such a different vibe of racing than what you have here. I mean, this is truly that every woman person. Watts there. You can see that's another rider I'd be keeping my eye on. Very savvy. But again, the 2 that we've been really talking about the most, that it's going to be hard to imagine how they're not a big, big part of the final conversation, would be Olivia Barrel, the Canadian, and Falk as well. Let's see if and there's Daniela, the Romanian rider that we were talking about a little bit earlier. I think everybody right now, Nathan, just keeping the powder dry, right? I mean, you're going to light the fuse. You just can't light it too early.
With the quality of field here, it's kind of anybody's. Like, I have a feeling that today there's a lot of riders in here who haven't had a podium, haven't a win, in a while, that are going to be looking to take it down right here. This course is so incredibly hard. We're coming into the final K here right now, last kilometer now, and it looks like it's Fierzine taking over toward the front. Falk now come Canyon. We're going to see, I think, some serious fireworks. These women really want this win here. We're in the 9 rounds here at this point, and I think it's almost anybody's game.
This was the point where Jeremiah Bishop attacked in the men's race, right? And his attack was within about 300 meters of making it to the line. They did come up and over the top of him. So if you are feeling it and you don't want to sprint with Leah Thorvaldsen and company, at any moment, here we go. All right, go. This is it. She's going to flog herself like a rented mule. I've got this as Langham off the front, the Australian rider. She's going to make a run at it. You got to say a brave rider always makes the show. So she's got the throttle all the way open right now. Welcome. We used to call this Watopia. Welcome to downtown Payne City.
This looks like Vicky Whitelaw here now is able to get the gap now. Now the response, though, she might have actually ruined her race here because the pack is responding. Polly Mason, Team Fearless, 2 seconds is all the gap is. Polly Mason, Team Fearless, she's doing the work, but she's doing work for other teams at this point. And it looks like Team Turbo, they've got enough in here. They've got to have the kick, though. They got to go now. They cannot allow Whitelaw to stay away. 7 watts per kilogram. Somebody's got to lead things out. They've got enough bodies in here. Olivia Barrel and as well as Leah Thorvaldsen. They might just not have the power. Vicky Whitelaw still has 3 seconds. They're into the last 300 meters. They don't have any kick. It looks like nothing left in the tank. Duncombe comes to the front. Will Polly Mason, Duncombe be able to make this happen? Where's the kick? It looks like here it comes. Orange numbers. Fierzine. Did they leave it too late? Olivia Barrow. We saw her do it in the Tour of Watopia. Will Barrow make it happen? 10 watts per kilogram coming from Barrow. Barrow to the line. It looks like it's going to happen. Olivia Barrow. She does it again. The upset on Heido. Turbo. Falk. Daniela is straight for 3rd. What a kick there coming from Team Turbo. Perfectly timed. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. It looked like she left it too late, but no, right at the bend. I told you it was before the bend. Right there is where you got to kick.
Credit to Whitelaw, a massive effort there. Timing, timing, timing. It's everything when you sprint, whether it's in real life or here on Watopia. You just got to get it right. Such a small window of opportunity. Congratulations, racers. Another fantastic show here. What a day. KALAS Cup number 9. Done and dusted.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Great job out there to all the racers. I think we lost Jeremiah for now. We were going to try and get his post-race interview. It looks like we just had a couple of technical difficulties on the stream with that. But we do have a replay for you of the sprints here as well. So let's go ahead and bring in what that looked like on the men's side of things. It looks like solid kicks to the line that came on through. And here it was. It was the boys from, what was the lead? Who's actually the lead out train here? Take a quick little look, and it looks like it is going to be coming from, it was Bishop getting caught there, as you can see. Almdahl from KALAS opens things up, and then it was Lionel Viasen trying to respond to hold things off for his man, James Phillips, to steal those points, the 35 at the line. 35 points at the line up for grabs. It looks like it is going to be Viasen. Look at Viasen, second place. Luke was leading things out. He was in first there. Luke G coming from dropouts, but Boniface comes through at the last moment. Look at that. Huge watts coming on through, and it was 12 watts per kilogram. Viasen right second there. It looked like Hodges, who's also an amazing sprinter, was right there with him as well. And looking through the results table here, let's take a quick look. I'm seeing it is Boniface. Hodges actually was able to just nip it at the line from Viasen, which is interesting to see there, Dave. And that might change things up a little bit here. Looking through Brian Hodges, he was sitting in 4th place overall. Where did Martin Olsen stand as well in the over? Olsen's nowhere to be seen in the top 10. Olsen's in 22nd here, so Brian Hodges, that's a big result for him. That will bump him up, I believe, in the 3rd place, depending on where Havard Jaldins from the Vikings team. Man, so many big riders, so many numbers all over the place. Now, if you do want to check out the series, check out zwiftpower.com. You can check out under leagues. Go on over there, and you can see where it's at for KALAS Cup. Amazing result there, though, coming in for Brett Boniface. He is, I believe, going to take over the series overall. Brian Hodges coming in for 2nd. Lionel Viasen for 3rd. Kirchner 4th. Luke Chabert, it looks like, coming in for 5th. Great job in the dropouts team. It looks like 2 in the top 5. KALAS a little bit outside of it, but there is Norwegian only standings actually, Dave, for this series. So that's good to see that they are all in the top 15 or so. They'll be grabbing some points for the for their Norwegian KALAS team.
If you asked an expert, give me the 3 riders to watch today, and wouldn't you say Boniface, Hodges, and Viasen? I mean,
Oh,
these are the
100%. Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
So
Yeah, they showed their
this
talent.
is a classic example of the real thoroughbreds delivering the goods. A lot of pressure, some great racing out there today, but they're the class of the field, no doubt about it. You'll be hearing a lot more from these 3 over the next few years here. As some dominant forces, but again, that's how you canuck up, as they say. Great job, Brett. Brett Boniface taking the win.
Doubleheader for the Canadians as well. Livia Barro, Team Turbo coming on through, and just ahead of Daniela Straight, it looks like, was able to nip it at the line from Kristen Falk. It looked like it was actually Daniela Straight, but from what I'm seeing here in the results right now, live results coming in from Zwift Power, it looks like it was actually the rider out of as you had said, out of Romania, if I'm not incorrect there.
Yes,
was able to grab that at the line. I'm going to see if I can grab a replay of the women's sprint here as well. And here it is. What a kick here coming from the rider Daniela Estrella as well as Olivia Barra. There it is. We thought it was too late. I thought it was way too late.
I really did. I thought Whitelaw had this one in the bag, to tell you the truth. This surge would dim the power grid anywhere in the, and that's the catch. And up and over the top, you can see she probably
look right there at the line though. Oh, almost. Daniela Straight just had it. Kristen Falk, that last little 8 watts per kilogram, but it was too little, too late. And it looks like it was Daniela Straight. That's the top 3 situation there between the women. Leah Thorvaldsen, Vicky Whitelaw battled it out for 4th and 5th, but it was actually Vicky Whitelaw able to hold on after that late attack. Got swallowed up by the pack, but brought back in. Vicky Whitelaw then for 4th, Leah Thorvaldsen 5th, Louis Fierzon, Lizzie Duncombe, Polly Mason Vicky Nealon. That's your top 10. All right, Dave. Amazing having you on the program, always as usual. We got lots more esports coming up, Dave. Dave Tully, everybody, thanks. Big thanks to him coming on in here, coming out of Colorado, doing some great social distancing and isolation while we do some awesome commentary. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. As a matter of fact, I'm having as much, if doing commentary. Again, of course, we all miss being out there with our friends. The real world will be back, but this has been more than a substitute. This is a way of life. It's been a blast.
100%. Thanks a lot, Dave. As always,
Thank
great
you.
to have you on the program. We'll see you soon. All right, so everybody, next up, Koa, coming up in just a few hours. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit those follow buttons, notification bells on all the places, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Mixer. We are live in those spots. And we will have Koa League has just launched private racing, community racing, verified racing. They're doing an amazing job. They had an awesome broadcast this morning. We saw huge amounts of viewership coming in. People are loving it. Koa League, I might actually race the race. We'll have to wait and see. I got 5 kiddos back here home here though, so I got to go do my taking care of things while we social distance as well. But everybody, stay safe out there. There is some great shout outs I want to definitely do. We will bring those in just real quick. Everybody, for all the setup here that we had to do, but Team Revo sent this great. Team Revo as well as Team Draft. They sent over some awesome shout outs to the people who are doing an amazing job in the healthcare system, specifically in those essential services. We'll get those assets out there. I just want to shout out to you guys, Team Draft as well as Revo. They've got some great people in there. I don't have the assets in right now, so that's on me a little bit, you guys. But shout out to those who are out there working right now to keep everybody healthy, putting themselves at risk. Huge shout out to them, everybody, and big hashtag. Revo put that out there. Stay safe, stay home. Definitely in agreement with that. And everybody, let's make sure that we as a community supporting each other and definitely give kudos to those who are out there, who are the helpers. Always look for the helpers in time of need because those are the people that are putting their hearts out there and making the real sacrifices. And I want to say thank you to all of them 100%. So, all right, everybody, that's going to be it from me, Nathan Guerra here, Zwift Community Live. Make sure to tune in later today for Koa League as it's into its second race in season number 2. As always, everybody, great job to all the racers out there. Check out the results over at Zwift Power. Thanks to all the viewers, and ride on.